And welcome to Two Tired Teachers. Today we are going to be winterizing our RV. Before you get started, you want to make sure that you understand kind of the whole process so that you don't get in the middle of it and then kind of get stuck. First thing you're going to need will be a couple of gallons, depending on the size of your RV. We've done this before, so we know about 1.5 gallons of this RV potable water system. Antifreeze is all we're going to need. And this is a 27-foot RV, so make sure you have a couple of gallons of this. Get it at Walmart. I bought one today just to have an extra, and I think it was $2.56, so not extremely expensive, and that is an annual expense. The other thing you're going to need to do before you get started is I made this little piece to fit our water pump, and all the materials for this were less than $10. So this is going to take us under 30 minutes. The cost for today is going to be about $5 because we already had this made, and most places that service RVs charge $75 to $100 to do this. So this is certainly a big money saving tip. Do it yourself and it's not going to be any trouble. So before you get started, you want to locate where your hot water heater is and where your water pump is. If you're in a travel trailer, those very well may be in the same compartment. And if you're unsure where those things are, the hot water heater has a panel on the outside that looks like this. If you're unsure where your water pump is, if you turn it on, you can listen for it, and it's not going to hurt it until you find it. Like I said, in a travel trailer, those may be under a bed, but there's a panel that is made to be removed in front of your hot water heater. And so you simply remove that, and we're going to bypass that hot water heater. So that's going to be the first step that we do. And the reason we do that is because most RVs have a 6-gallon hot water heater, and you don't want to fill that with antifreeze. You want to bypass it so that you're just pumping antifreeze through the lines and not into the hot water heater. So let's go bypass our hot water heater. Okay, our hot water heater, here's what the outside panel looks like. And I can see that it is next door to, there on the left you see the back of the refrigerator. Underneath you see the furnace, and then to the left, to the right of that, sorry, is the hot water heater. So when I come inside, here's a refrigerator. I open this cabinet door. There was a panel here, simply 2 screws. Those panels are made to be taken off so that you can access your hot water heater. Okay, your hot water heater is going to have some little on-off valves, and I hope you can see. This one has 2. It may have 1, it may have 2, it may have 3, depending on your exact model of hot water heater. My suggestion is going to take a picture of the location of these, and it's this one and then down here, and that means the water's flowing through this way and it's shut off this way. So all we're going to, and if you trace it, you can kind of see where the water goes. All I'm going to do is flip these the direction they are now. I'm going to turn it the opposite direction, and this one I'm going to turn the opposite direction. And so now, come on, there we go. Now the water is flowing through here, and we've shut it off here, so it's no longer going into our hot water heater. It's bypassed, and it's going up here around the hot water heater. So now we won't be filling our hot water heater full of antifreeze. Okay, you now are going to need to access your low point drains, and you should have 3: a hot water, a cold water, and a fresh water. So at the beginning of this season, I replaced the little screw thing underneath there with an on-off valve, and I did it for this exact day. Historically, I get really wet because I'm trying to hold the line and unscrew that part underneath there. So let's see if this works better. Here are, let me go in and show these to you. Now, instead of getting up underneath there and soaking myself, I'm simply going to flip this and flip this, and I now have stayed dry, and I'm draining hot water, cold water, and I'm going to go to the back and do the same with the fresh water. One thing I do want to mention about these valves is I am simply going to go on and close them off, and that's going to keep any kind of bugs or anything from that might crawl up in there. So I'm going to do that with the hot water, cold water, and fresh water. Okay, I have now bypassed my hot water heater and I have emptied the low point drains. So now I am ready to actually start running antifreeze into the lines. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this little piece that I made and am going to connect it to my water pump. Now on the water pump, let me show you this. There is a line which comes up from underneath. And that's where it's pulling water from the fresh water tank. So this is the line I need to connect to. And I'll connect to my, I'm going to simply unscrew this and screw this in. And then that's going to, I'll run this into my antifreeze. And that's going to draw, instead of drawing from the fresh water tank, it's going to be drawing antifreeze out of the antifreeze. As I turn the water pump on, it's going to then run antifreeze into all of my lines. So let me get that connected. Okay, I will loosen this, and I am now going to simply take the,
I like to have this one ready too.
yeah, take this, put it down inside of here. And this is where it is really handy, especially if this is outside. Have somebody out here with you so they can change out jugs for you. Go on and get this one ready because we know it's going to take more than one jar. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in, turn the water pump on, and let you see that that really does start running water. Okay, so on the inside, all I did was I simply turn on the water pump, and then I will tell you with the first sink, and this is the one furthest away, it really doesn't matter where you start, but when you're first pulling it, it's going to take it a little bit longer because this is what's sucking all the antifreeze into the lines, and now you can see it started to run pink on the cold water side. I'm going to switch it over to the hot water side. Let that come through. It's now back to water, and it's going to be pulling that pink up through that hot water side, and there that is. Let it go on and run for a second to get some pink down in that P-trap. You now are going to need to turn on the hot water and cold water side to all faucets until you see pink. This includes the shower and outside shower if you have one, and flush the toilet until you see pink. Once you turn the water pump off, then open a faucet to relieve pressure on the line. Okay, open your city water connection, and you can either take the screen out or leave it in, but you're going to press in on that. There's a little relief valve, and that's going to send a little bit of water and antifreeze out. That will take the pressure off of that line, put antifreeze in it. Okay, put a little bit of plumber's tape on and replace your fresh water line, and you are through. Okay, that's it. It really is that simple, and have saved ourselves basically $100 in hooking and unhooking and leaving our RV somewhere to have this done. So hopefully this will save you a few bucks.
I'm her happy assistant. And it really didn't take long. We used about a gallon of the antifreeze. It works like a charm.
And so materials for today, less than $3. Now, we are going to go on around there and drain the hot water heater and show you how to flush that. Okay, to undo the winterizing process,
You'll probably start with opening up all of your faucets and letting the antifreeze drain. You need to run clear before you, so that it's clean. You're not really supposed to drink the antifreeze.
okay, what I would probably do before that
Okay.
would be to put some water in your fresh water tank and turn on your water pump so that you're actually pumping everything through that water pump, because that's where all the antifreeze
Okay.
came from. And then connect to your city water, and at that point, go on, and your hot water heater, you're going to want to turn those back where you are no longer bypassing the hot water heater.
Inside,
but,
correct?
Yes,
Yes.
well, wherever your hot water
Sure.
heater access
Sure.
is, which usually is inside. You want to turn those back like they were, and then you were ready to run water. Remember, your hot water heater, it's going to take 6 gallons to fill your hot water heater, so that's going to take a few minutes to fill that. And then, like she said, open every faucet and let it run
Including
clear.
the shower.
Including the shower, and let that run clear. What we usually do for our first trip is we'll carry several gallons of water so that until we've like washed dishes and done some things like that, we're actually drinking fresh water that we've carried. But this is for non-potable water systems, so it's not like drinking antifreeze from your cars, which would kill you. So this is actually designed for those systems. But that's all there is. Once you make sure that you've connected your fresh water line back up, and then you're good to go for another year. Thanks for watching, Two Tired Teachers.
Yeah.